Hi everybody, this is Dave, and I'm going to post an ethical topic about something that probably bores most people to death, and that's insurance. Last couple of years, if you've caught on, I am in insurance, coming up on 5 years this September. And during the course of this program that we've done together, I had to eliminate one of my largest, most lucrative contracts. So it's interesting I get to post about that because there's not a lot of people that know about it. But I had to do so because of some claims issues, and a lot of people immediately believe a lot of urban legends about claims adjusters and things like that. So I kind of fill in some background of what was going on. Most companies are not large enough where they can pay all claims out of their own pocket. So an insurance company will buy insurance on themselves, and so that's called reinsurance. And it's pretty standard. There is some of the bigger national carriers out there that you would see on every commercial block on TV that don't because they're large enough, but a vast majority of insurance companies do use reinsurance at some level. And when they do so, there's more stipulations that are put into your policy because they do that things. And so they have to honor their policy, and they've also got to honor what they pay into for their policy, as far as the claims that they can pay out on and how they can pay out on them. So when a claims adjuster meets with somebody about an accident, it's not always as cut and dry as people would like, and they're not always the best at explaining all that. But what happened with this particular company was they were having some loss issues. And they were having some significant loss issues. And in the state of Missouri, after the Joplin tornado, that was pretty much everybody having loss issues. And won't get into the details of all the nitty-gritty, but they were in some gray areas with some of these policies that weren't just like, well, you rear-ended somebody, so we owe. There were some more technical things, and they could bounce back either way legally. So the company started having the claims adjusters, as they were talking to their reinsurance company about ways to lower their loss ratio so they could stay profitable or get profitable. And they started to do something that was to me highly unethical. In these gray areas, people were turning in claims that might be $200 over their deductible. And you think, well, that's not that expensive. $200 is not a big deal. Well, when an insurance company pays $200, it never just pays $200. It's got to pay for everybody that worked on that claim. So $200, a $200 check can easily turn into $1,500 in the blink of an eye. And that was eating this company up, and that's usually the way it happens. Big losses don't tend to hurt. It's the little tiny losses over a long period of time that tends to eat it up. And so the company started on gray areas where they could do it. They got to the point where they decided to have their claims adjusters, as they were denying it, instead of the people going and lawyering up and try to sue and get the money out of it, which would even cost more, they started offering to turn in tickets on the agents. And of all the issues I heard of, it was never really an issue with the agent. The agent always covered all their bases, but the company was able to get the client to turn in an E&O charge on the agent. So that would take the claim off of the company's book and then place it on the agent. And the average deductible, like my E&O deductible, is $5,000. And if judges are going to throw money from an E&O claim to a client, it's generally more than $5,000. So I would have that full brunt right off the bat. And dealing with it, like I said, it was very painful financially for us to separate. But the risk of a company doing something where, it wasn't on the agent. The agent did their job. The company really honored their position, but lawyers advertise, and it just happens where in contracts and insurance that there is a gray area where you don't really know if the claim's payable. and it did happen, unfortunately. But the worst part, as far as agents, and I do know some even in the Springfield area that dealt with that, where they did have to pay a considerable amount of money out of pocket, and several of them unrightfully so. They should have never had a claims issue against them. They should have never had the charge or the allegation. So it not only hurt them financially, it hurt them in their reputation, because now the seed is planted in that person's mind that, oh, my agent's at fault, instead of, ultimately that person was really at fault. So it was an ethical decision that we reached, to go ahead and separate from the company, and it was hard, but it's been a big weight lifted.